Yeah, response video, just to some guy, I don't know who this guy is, this Ronald Pullman. It's kind of obnoxious, begging me to respond, just really, like, attention whore much. So anyway, we'll see what kind of crappy video it is. Inmendham's hypocrisy. This is an image here, but I don't think that's him.
Inmendham, you are a fraud, you are disingenuous, you are...
Right, so your icon has nothing to do with who you are, right? Because you're like, what, 300 pounds? I mean, I can hear your voice having a hard time getting through all the bacon bits still in your throat. So whatever. And I gotta watch a video game? I don't think there's much point in doing that, is there? Well, we'll do it anyway.
Hypocrite. I heard you on your debate, one of your debate nights, saying that people who litter repeatedly, people who shoplift all the time,
oh, God, this is insufferable. The audio quality is horrible, and I can hear guttural dying sounds.
People who commit petty crimes should be shot, should be executed.
Right, so repeat offenders, again, so there's something illogical by acknowledging the difference between somebody who makes a mistake, like, okay, I did something stupid, I won't do it again. There's a difference between that individual and somebody who gets caught once. You let them off, you say, okay, here's your little punishment, but this is really something you can't do again, okay? You do it again, you're just showing contempt for the law, and contempt for the law is a worse crime than your first crime, right? Because the first crime you could say, okay, you made a mistake, it was a moment of weakness, blah, blah, blah. The second time, no, it's contempt. You're just basically saying you don't care what the law is, you don't care what society says is civil behavior, you're just going to do whatever the hell you want. And there's a distinction between those two things. And acknowledging that is not hypocrisy, retard. Okay, there's a big difference between somebody in jail in Indonesia for smoking 2 marijuana joints and somebody who's been caught 17 times. Big difference.
So when derived energy commits a petty crime, should he be shot? Should he be executed?
Yeah, and the third offense, I guess I'd say, yeah, you're kind of demonstrating that you just don't give a fuck. Yeah, so if you go to some other country, you get caught 3 times, then maybe they have a right to squish you like a bug. Wait, again, you can't understand the distinction between the fact that, okay, I thought I was going to be okay, I thought I wouldn't end up smoking pot again, but yeah, I did it and I made a mistake, and so now I know I'm not made for Indonesia. See, derived energy's learned that he's not really made to go live in a country that has these kind of draconian laws because, yeah, he's weak. So he knows better now. So he learned a lesson. You see, if you learn a lesson, then you're a good guy. If you refuse to learn a lesson, then you're a bad guy.
But yet you want to cry foul from the Indonesian government when they decide to exercise draconian punishment against him. The same punishment that you would impose on litterers and...
Well, again, that's just a lie, right? So it's not the same crime. Again, repeat offenders, big difference. So again, so you're just a liar, okay? So you call me a hypocrite. Well, you're a fucking liar, asshole. Liars are a lot worse, and I'm not a hypocrite. I'm only a hypocrite from a liar's perspective.
Shoplifters and speeders, if you were in power. If you were in power, people wouldn't be able to have children. People wouldn't be able to breed. And they would say, this is unfair, this is draconian, this is...
breeding is a serious imposition on somebody else's... You're making a choice for somebody else. And fundamentally, that's something you've got to have some sort of reason to do. And so I've always argued that, well, you certainly don't have a right until you can give me a reason. And the reason, if it has I want or I need in it, that's not good enough. So you have to have a reason that doesn't have those words in it. If you're doing it because you want to and nothing better than that, yeah, you really don't have a right to fuck with somebody else, so to speak.
Step of our human rights. And you would say...
Yeah, well, like I said, it's a biological fact. You have the capacity to do it, but that doesn't mean it's a right. If we all had, some sort of toxic poison that shot out of our little tube in our forehead, because, that's how we evolved, and at any moment we could just liquefy somebody, and everybody's poison was the same, so you could never tell anybody who did what, would we have a right just because we have the capacity to melt somebody with our acid? Would we have a right to do it? No, we'd all understand that you really don't have a right to do that. We all have biological capacity. You have the physical ability to molest a child, and we've recognized that no, you're not allowed to do that.
I know best. It's for the best, and tough shit if you don't like it.
Well, that's not the argument. The argument is I'm going to make an argument and say, look, most people are already behaving as if they're anti-natalists, and all we have to do is get them to say they're anti-natalists, and then they can stop the ignorant moron 20% of the population that's creating all the excess population. So it's only 20% of the population now that's causing all the problem. And again, it's draconian from whose perspective? Again, you can't get more aggressive than playing God. Playing God is one hell of a thing to be doing, right? That's a little bit more than thinking you have a right to drive and drink and drive. That's saying you're competent to decide for another individual that you're going to do something they want done to them. That's pretty fucking bold.
So when the government of Indonesia basically says the same thing, you want to bitch and moan?
Well, whatever. You think smoking a joint in your living room is the same thing as deciding you're going to create sentient life. I don't think it's the same thing. I don't think it's even close to the same thing. I think they're on, exactly opposite ends of the planet.
And throw a hissy fit. Don't you see the hypocrisy in that? And then you want to whine about cigarettes. You say that if someone sold cigarettes to minors, they would be shot.
Yeah, well, there's a problem. I didn't say they'd be shot. Again, it's another lie. All right? What I said is that you need to have a stiff penalties for anybody who sells cigarettes to a minor. And again, I qualify it with the number of strikes, okay? So again, if you do it more than once, yeah, there's a point where we just say you're demonstrating contempt for the law, contempt for our democracy, contempt for civil justice, and so fuck you. We can't play with somebody who has contempt for fairness, contempt for the umpires. There's no fucking game then, jackass.
Isn't that draconian? Cigarettes are a drug. They pose a danger. Marijuana is a drug. Perhaps the Indonesian government sees it as a danger. So they want to...
So you want to rationalize their behavior. Let's say it was a danger. Let's say it was agreed that it was some sort of overt, threatening danger to civilization. You still have to explain the idea of using law in a terrorist fashion. I don't justify using law to terrorize people. All right? And that's all it would be. If you take a tiny percentage of the people violating a law and you cause them great harm as a punishment, all you're trying to do is scare everybody into compliance. You're not trying to persuade people to be civil, and you're not doing what's called justice. You're not giving people proportional punishment to the crime. And again, I say that the proportional punishment comes into effect on repeat offenses. So again, you said it in your opening statement, so you've acknowledged basically that you heard what I actually said, and the rest of this video you've completely misparaphrased. You've lost the context. The context is repeat offenders. You've lost that context, and now you're just lying.
Impose harsh legislation for it. I think you would fit right in as an Indonesian judge or lawmaker or lobbyist or parliamentarian or whatever they have over there. I think you would fit right into their authoritarian system.
Well, whatever. You can speculate. On what laws would you think I would pass? What penalties would I impose for what kind of behavior? I mean, based on what I've said in my 4,000 some videos. You're going to argue that I would sit there and penalize people for smoking marijuana in their living room? I don't think so.
And I read your lawsuit, by the way. It's bogus on the cigarette taxes. You'll go on Fox News, or you'll talk to Fox News. You'll go on local news when it serves your best interest for your bogus lawsuit. But have you been on the news since the 80, 90 days that Derived Energy's been in jail? No, you haven't. You haven't been in the media. But you'll be in the media when it suits your purpose. Your person.
Well, that doesn't even make any sense. Fox News called me. I didn't even know I was on the Marshals watch list, okay? They called me, and the reporter informed me of the fact that I'm on this watch list, okay? So, yeah, if the media wants to call me about Derived Energy, I'd be perfectly satisfied to talk to them, okay? So I didn't pursue publicity regarding the cigarette case, and frankly, the publicity after the fact was of no value, and of course they didn't follow up on the story and point out that I actually won the appeal in the federal court. So there was no real advantage to them sitting there saying there was, showing a contention between me and Judge Hittner, and they never even pointed out the fact that, well, yeah, he's on the watch list, but the fact is he won the appeal against Hittner, and he had to recuse himself. So, where's my victory in that? They do the negative story, and they don't do the positive story. So how did I win? Yeah, fuck you, asshole.
On purpose. And I don't believe that you actually give a damn about Derived Energy, because you're not cordial or you're not civilized with anyone on YouTube. You call people fuckers and fucktards and pedophiles. So don't pretend that you care that he's in prisons, because if he was...
Oh, look, asshole, I've got people making videos wearing, helmets doing, Hitler imitations still. So don't tell me about what I call somebody else as a reply to their slanders, okay? I've been called Holocaust denier and, all this other shit, and so, yeah, I give back people what they ask for, okay? They ask for it, I'm going to give it back, you fucking cunt. Jesus.
Wasn't imprisoned, if Derived Energy was making YouTube videos, you would just be calling him a fucktard, a fucker, just like everyone else.
So what? I mean, what, you just don't get the concept of honest free speech, right? I should call them something else, my good friend from? No, they're not my good friend. And the fact was that I had made videos to Derived Energy. The last three videos I made to him were all videos where I was basically cussing him out. What does that mean? It just means that I'm saying, look, I don't really like what you're saying in your videos, and I think it's fucktard and idiotic, and I'm going to say it honestly. So unlike you, I'm an honest human being, and you're just a lying piece of shit, hiding behind a fake icon and video games.
See, this is just for you. This is for your ego. You're waving your flag to get people riled up, and you get a hard-on watching your...
Well, then why wouldn't I make my channel? I could have 4 years ago, I could have made my channel a partnered channel. Why didn't I do that if it was all about me? Why wouldn't I network? Why wouldn't I kiss some asses out there to get more popular? Why do I make myself as unappealing, as natural as I am? If it was about my ego, wouldn't I do something to encourage people to stroke it? Asshole. So again, another preposterous theory. You're just a fucking slandering liar.
Sycophants. This is all it's about. It's about your ego. You don't give a shit about Derived Energy. It's about you. And you display that for your act.
Alright, well, look, I guess this is enough, right? Well, there's no point in doing this. You're the asshole who posts 3 comments on my video to go see your video. You send me PMs telling me to go see your video. I think it's about you, fucker. Okay, and that's the only reason why you made this video. Is it because it's about you, and you're just a liar. Okay, a disgusting liar. So really, fuck you. Well, point one, Inmendham channel was suspended about 28th of April. I think my comment went up on the 27th. I don't know who's accusing who of what. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm just not going to bother with this. This is just nonsense. It's just a bunch of lies. So, fuck you. You're going to be blocked now. And whatever. You're just a waste of time. Yeah. Yeah, colossal waste of my time.